Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel once again, and then welcome back to the Labyrinth. It is time to continue our reading of Julius Caesar. So, if you remember in Act 1, Julius Caesar just came back from slaying Pompey. He from defeating Pompey. He's on top of the world, but there are some conspirators such as Cassius, who are planning to take out Julius Caesar. And I'm not talking on a date. I'm talking remove him from power and from life, essentially. And they're trying to recruit Julius's good friend Brutus, is trying to convince him to join their side. So will Brutus join their side, and will Caesar learn about the Ides of March and what all that entails from the soothsayer? Let's find out. As we move into Act 2 here. Of course, this is courtesy of the Folger Shakespeare Library. They will be linked to the description. I'll have the link to the entire play once I update descriptions, which I am working towards. I worked towards them previously, but I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit, so we're gonna go back into fixing those up. I've been getting those. But if you go to Folge.edu, the Shakespeare Library here you will see the entire place, and it's broken up into the acts and everything. So if you wish to follow along, you can. If you want to read on your own, you can. If you want to do neither, that's totally fine. Whether you want to follow along with me as I read on your own time, what have you, who feel free to do so. Whichever you please. But of course, if you are indeed new to Nicely Successful Labyrinth, first of all, welcome. If you aren't new, then welcome back. But if you are indeed new, what we normally do is we read poetry, but sometimes we delve into text stories such as this one. And so if that is your kind of thing, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free after all, and leaving a like, a comment, and sharing it with your friends, of course. But without further ado, I've rambled on long enough. Let's get into more rambling, more so the reading here. I'm gonna try to go not necessarily fast, but I'm just gonna read at my pace. I do tend to read kind of fast. I feel like I've always read kind of fast, even like growing up and everything, especially when I would like read in class and everything. But feel free to pause it at any time to see the text on screen. But nevertheless, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the text itself first, and just this opening scene here, scene 1 of Act 2, you can see is a kind of a long one, but and then we're going to read the synopsis here of what we read, and kind of go from there, expound upon it. But nevertheless, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, enter Brutus in his orchard. What, Lucius? Ho! I cannot by the progress of the stars give guess how near today. Lucius, I say, I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say. What, Lucius? Enter Lucius. Called you, my lord? Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here. I will, my lord. And he exits. It must be by his death, and for my part, I know who no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. Is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins, remorse from power. And, to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. So quickly, just to interject here, when you see the text like this with the little brackets, normally I think that normally means that a different word was there, but because it's being translated over and being transcribed into text form, a different word is put in to simplify it. So just wanted to put that anecdote there in case you were wondering what those little brackets mean. But anyway, continuing on. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks into the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend, so Caesar may. Then, lest he may prevent, and since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which, hatched, would, as his kind, grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell. Enter Lucius. The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper, thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed. And he gives me a letter. Get you to bed again. It is not day. It is not tomorrow, boy. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March? I know not, sir. Look in the calendar and bring me word. I will, sir. And he exits. The exhalations, whizzing in the air, give so much light that I may read by them. So, these parts obviously are like stage directions. I'm not gonna read all of these. He's just like some of them first, like one, such as like when they're entering and exiting. But yeah. Anyway, continuing on. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake. Such instigations have been often dropped, or I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus. And enter Lucius. Sir, March is wasted 15 days. 'Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. And Lucius exits. Since Cassius first did at me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection. And enter Lucius. Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door, who doth desire to see you. Is he alone? No, sir. There are more with him. Do you know them? No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them, by any mark of favor. Let him enter. And Lucius exits. They are the faction, O conspiracy. Slamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night, when evils are most free? Oh, then, by day, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou path thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention. And enter the conspirators, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Cinna, Metellus, and Trebonius. I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you? I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you? Yes, every man of them, and no man here but honors you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius. He is welcome hither. This, Decius Brutus. He is welcome too. This, Casca. This, Cinna. And this, Metellus Cimber. They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night? Shall I entreat a word? Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here? No. Oh, pardon, sir, it doth, and yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day. You shall confess that you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher toward the north. He first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital directly here. Give me your hands all over, one by one, and let us swear our resolution. No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny rage on, till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steel with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need he any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what other oath that an honesty to honesty engage, that this shall be or we will fall for it? Swear priests and cowards and men cowless, O feeble Arians, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs, unto bad causes swear, such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits. To think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him. But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us. Let us not leave him out. No, by no means. Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and buy men's voices to command our deeds. It shall be said his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths in wilderness shall no wit appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin. Then leave him out. Indeed, he is not fit. Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar? Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet. Mark Antony, so well beloved as Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and, his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together. Our course will seem too bloody, Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And, gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up the servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off. Yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar. Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Take thought and die for Caesar, and that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wilderness, and much company. There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. Peace! Count the clock. The clock hath stricken 3. 'Tis time to part. But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late, quite from the main opinion he held once, of fantasy, of dreams, and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers, may hold him from the capital today. Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being the most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital. Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him. By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost? Be that at the uttermost, and fail not then. Caius Caius Ligurus doth bear Caesar hand, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him. Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him. The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and, friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans. Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it, as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you, everyone. And all but Brutus exit. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep? Is no matter. Enjoy the heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no fears nor no fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepest so sound. And enter Portia. Brutus, my lord. Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning. No, or for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing, with your arms across, and when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head, and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand, gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape, as it hath much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief. I am not well in health, and that is all. Brutus is wise, and, were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it. Why, so I do, good Portia. Go to bed. Is Brutus sick? And is it physical, to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick, and will steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the rheumy and unpurged air, to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of, and upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me, yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces, even from darkness. Kneel not, gentle Portia. Good thing you did that, Brutus. This is a family show after all. But I should not need, if you are gentle, Brutus, within the bond of marriage. Tell me, Brutus, is it expected that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were, in sort of limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be not more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife. You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart. If this were true, then should I know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal, a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal, a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound, here, in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience, and not my husband's secrets? Oh, you gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the character of my sad brows. Leave me with haste. And Portia exits. Lucius, who's that knocks? And enter Lucius and Ligarius. Here is a sick man that would speak with you. Caius Ligeris, that Metellus spoke of. Boy, stand aside. And Lucius exits. Lucius, you said stand aside. He doesn't. He didn't mean for you to literally leave, unless that's exactly what he meant. But anyway, hey, Caius Ligeris, how? Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue. Oh, what a time have you chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick. I am not sick. If Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honor, such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you a healthful ear to hear of it, by all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible. Yea, get the better of them. What's to do? A piece of work that will make sick men whole. But are not some whole that we must make sick? That must we also. What is it? What it is, my Caius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done. Set on your foot, and with a heart new who fired, or I follow you, to do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on. Follow me then, and they exit. So, the synopsis for this one is, let's scroll all the way back up. I know that was kind of a long one, but the synopsis here is that Brutus anxiously ponders joining the conspiracy against Caesar, and when he is brought one of the unsigned letters that Cassius has had left for him to find, Brutus decides to act. And visited by the conspirators, he agrees to join them but rejects their plan to kill Mark Antony as well as Caesar. When the other conspirators have left, Portia, Brutus's wife, begs of him an explanation for a sudden change of mood. Brutus, joined by Caius Ligarius, departs for Caesar's. At 3 in the morning! And jeez, man. And I guess when you're in charge, you gotta be up early, but 3 in the morning? But interesting there that Brutus decides, because Cassius says, you know what, let's kill Mark Antony and Julius Caesar. Let them die together. Let them fall together. But Brutus is like, no. Because once we get rid of Caesar, Mark Antony will kind of just go away. Hey, that's pretty much what Brutus is saying. Like, Mark Antony will kind of just go away. He'll just like slump off and everything. And once Caesar's taken out, Mark Antony won't be a factor. Oh man, I hope that doesn't come back to bite them. But nevertheless, we move into scene 2 here, of Act 2. Thunder and lightning. Enter Julius Caesar in his nightgown. Nor heaven nor earth hath been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, Help! Ho! They murder Caesar. Who's within? Enter a servant. My lord, go bid the priests do present sacrifice, and bring me their opinions of success. I will, my lord. And he exits, and enter Calpurnia. What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There's one within, beside the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds, in ranks and squadrons in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, I should say. Horses did neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them. What can be avoided, whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seemed to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. And enter a servant. What say the augurers? They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast. The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart. If he should stay at home today for fear, no, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are 2 lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this. Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. And entered Decius. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so. Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house, and you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators, and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not. Falser, I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius. Say he is sick. Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeard to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come. Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so. The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents, and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today. This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathe, signifies that from your great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified. In this way have you well expounded it. I have, when you have heard what I can say, and I know it now. The Senate hath concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock, apt to be rendered, for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love, to you proceeding bids me tell you this, and a reason to my love is liable. How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. Enter Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Casca, Trebonius, Cinna, and Publius. Or it might be Publius, I'm not sure. And look where Publius has come to fetch me. Good morrow, Caesar. Welcome, Publius. I think I'll just go with Publius. Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. Caius Ligarius, Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy, and has the same ague which hath made you lean. What is it o'clock? Caesar, 'tis struck an 8. I thank you for your pains and courtesy. And then enter Antony. See, Antony that revels long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony. So to most noble Caesar. Bid him prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. And the servant exits. Now, Cinna, now, Metellus, what, Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near that I may remember you. Caesar, I will, and so near will I be, that your best friends shall wish I had been further. Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together. That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon. And they exit. So, the synopsis for this one is, for this scene is now the 15th of March. Calpurnia, Caesar's wife, persuades him to stay home because she fears for his safety. Decius Brutus, arriving to accompany Caesar to the capital, convinces him that the senators plan to crown Caesar that day, but that they may never renew their offer should they suspect he is afraid. Caesar changes his mind and decides to go. He is joined by Brutus and the rest of the conspirators, as well as by Mark Antony. So Caesar almost gets, not necessarily cold feet, but almost lets Calpurnia talk him into staying home. Whom she has the dream that Caesar's statue, who ran with blood, and that the Romans bathed in the blood coming from the statue, which admittedly is a pretty crazy dream, but all the crazy stuff happening, Capricorn is like, yeah, all this crazy stuff is happening. I had this crazy dream. I don't think you should go in today. Not gonna lie, if I was Julius Caesar, and maybe this is why I'm not, but if I was Julius Caesar, if the soothsayer saying "Beware the eyes of March" didn't get me to stay home, my wife having a crazy dream like that and all the crazy stuff happening that night might do it. Decius comes in right in the nick of time, and really, Decius really keeps the plan afloat by saying, like, oh no, Calpurnia, it's just a dream, and no, her dream doesn't mean that. Her dream actually means this, and they're planning on crowning you. They're gonna crown you, and you might miss out. It's pretty much like when you were in high school and your friends were like, hey, come to this party, and you're like, I don't feel like going, like I got homework and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, so and so might be there, you might miss a good party. So pretty much peer pressure, or pressuring Caesar into going. So will Caesar live to regret his decision or lack thereof? Let's find out as we move into scene 3. And then enter Artemidorus. Artemidorus is reading a paper. So, right off the bat, before we get into this, as you might have seen, there's a lot of names and there's a lot of words that I may or may not stumble over. Partially because I'm a little bit tired, admittedly, but also partially because some of these are a little tricky to pronounce. Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men. It is bent against Caesar. If he is not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover Artemidorus. Here will I stand till Caesar passed along, and as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. And he exits. So pretty much the synopsis is that Artemidorus waits in the streets for Caesar in order to give him a letter warning him of the conspiracy. Man, what is it in Shakespeare plays with people wanting to give letters that will literally save someone's life? So the letter pretty much spells out the entire plan, and so hopefully Caesar reads the letter, or will he receive Artemidorus' letter? Or let's find out as we conclude Act 2 with Scene 4. So enter Portia and Lucius. As I prithee thee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay? To know my errand, madam. I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldest do there. O Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard is it for women to keep counsel? Art thou here yet? Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you, and nothing else? Yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that? I hear none, madam. Prithee, listen well. I hear a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital. Sooth, madam, I hear nothing. And enter the soothsayer. Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been? At mine own house, good lady. Was it o'clock? About the 9th hour, lady. Is Caesar yet gone to the capital? Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand, to see him pass on to the capital. Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not? That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar, to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself. Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him? None that I know will be. Much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels, of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along. And he exits. I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of a woman is. O Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say, I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee. And they exit separately. So the synopsis here is that Portia, who has been told the conspirators plan to kill Caesar, waits anxiously for news of their success. She meets the soothsayer, who still fears for Caesar and wants to warn him. All right, who snitched? I'm guessing somebody. It might have been. Lucius who revealed the plan, but if it was Lucius who I guess they're implying that Lucius overheard the plan, which in that case, you couldn't have told Caesar about this earlier, say like a couple hours ago. But nevertheless, now Portia is anxious, waiting to see what happens, and I'm sure you are all anxious to wait to see what happens. Will Caesar survive? Will he learn the plan? And well, it's not the tragedy of Julius Caesar for nothing, but find out more about that next time as we move into Act 3. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see it as soon as it drops. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Act 2 of Julius Caesar here. Are you enjoying the reading so far? Or are you enjoying my analysis of the reading so far? And where you think the story is going to unfold from here? But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.